Every day, what you choose, what you think, and what you do is what you become. With these words, Heraclitus of Ephesus invites us to reflect on how our daily actions shape our essence. A philosopher who lived in the 6th century BC, Heraclitus is one of the most enigmatic and fascinating pre-Socratic thinkers of antiquity. Known as the Obscure One for the complexity of his thought and the cryptic nature of his writings, he developed a philosophy of becoming in which everything is perpetually changing. His famous maxim, Panta, everything flows, sums up the essence of this vision. Reality is a continuous flow of transformations, in which nothing remains the same as time passes. As he states in the most famous fragment attributed to him, no man ever steps into the same river twice, for the river is never the same, and he is never the same man. Change is the only true constant. There is nothing immutable except the urge to change, Heraclitus argues, reminding us that everything, including ourselves, is constantly evolving. He emphasizes that even while we speak or think, everything already changes. I myself change the moment I say that things change. For Heraclitus, reality is a play of opposites that complement each other. What seems contradictory is actually part of the same unity. The road by which one ascends and by which one descends is one, he writes in his fragments, suggesting that extremes often coincide on a circular path. Indeed, on a circle, every starting point is also an ending point. What goes up eventually goes down, and what goes down goes up. Likewise, opposites are reconciled. From contrasting things arises the most beautiful harmony, and everything comes into being through strife. The balance of the world arises from elements in tension, just as the contrast between light and dark, or between hot and cold, gives meaning to both opposites. Heraclitus emphasizes that everything turns into its opposite. What is cold becomes hot, what is hot becomes cold, what is moist becomes dry, and what is dry becomes moist. Even natural elements mutate into one another in an endless cycle, where fire occupies a central place. Everything, according to Heraclitus, originates and dissolves in primordial fire, a symbol of energy and perpetual change. He speaks of a harmony hidden behind appearances. The invisible is perfect and intact, while the visible is continually distorted under the weight of reality. For example, illness makes health pleasant and good. Hunger makes satiety seem sweet, and fatigue makes rest seem sweet. Without pain, we could not fully understand joy, and without the changing seasons, we would not appreciate the return of spring. The beauty of the universe, therefore, arises from the alternation and tension between opposing forces, held together in dynamic equilibrium. Heraclitus's investigation does not stop at the physical nature of the world, but also involves knowledge and truth. He observes with a hint of bitterness that the multitude does not seek truth, but is content with what is pleasant. Many people prefer the comfort of their own reassuring beliefs, rather than facing reality in all its complexity. Yet the truth requires an open mind and a willingness to be surprised. You will never find the truth unless you are willing to accept even what you did not expect to find, warns Heraclitus. There is, he said, only one path to follow for those who truly wish to understand. The path of wisdom is one, and it leads to the truth. It is an invitation to seek authentic wisdom rather than mere opinions, because only in this way can we reach a deeper understanding of the cosmos. In his aphorisms, Heraclitus also reminds us that knowing a lot of things does not equate to being truly wise. Learning many things does not teach intelligence. Superficial knowledge, made up of accumulated data, is not enough to enlighten the mind. Instead, we must develop the ability to understand the essence of things. From this perspective, the philosopher emphasizes the importance of direct experience. The eyes are more faithful witnesses than the ears, he states, suggesting that seeing reality with one's own eyes is more reliable than relying on stories or hearsay. He also emphasizes how only those who are truly attentive grasp the details of the world. Men who wish to know the world must learn to know it in detail. Heraclitus spares no criticism of those who listen without understanding. Those who, after hearing, do not understand are like the deaf. Though present, they are absent, he writes, condemning the attitude of those who fail to pay attention to the deeper meaning of what they hear. The wise man, on the other hand, maintains a sense of wonder but is not naive. He distinguishes truth from falsehood without being captivated by every novelty. The foolish man loves to be amazed at every word, says Heraclitus, warning us against blindly believing any high-sounding statement. Even with an unusual image, the philosopher urges us to reflect. If all things turned to smoke, noses would distinguish them, meaning that only those who possess the right tools, such as the sense of smell for smoke, can truly recognize the nature of phenomena. This invites us to develop the right senses, intellectual and spiritual, to grasp the truth behind appearances. In addition to investigating the nature of the cosmos, Heraclitus also scrutinizes the human soul with its weaknesses and virtues. He warns against allowing ourselves to be dominated by fleeting pleasures and passions. It is more difficult to fight against pleasure than against anger, he states, highlighting how much more difficult it is to resist the seductions of pleasure than anger. Unbridled desire can corrupt the soul. The struggle against desire is hard. What it wants, it buys at the price of the soul, he writes incisively. In other words, when we give in to baser desires, we risk selling our very soul, trading higher values for momentary satisfactions. With a biting irony, Heraclitus observes that if happiness were in the pleasures of the body, we would call oxen happy when they find food. True human happiness cannot be reduced to material pleasures and must be sought on a higher level. Likewise, the philosopher urges us to curb arrogance and arrogance. Hubris, human insolence, is a dangerous fire that must be nipped in the bud. We must quench arrogance rather than a fire, he warns. True wisdom involves moderation, self-control, and respect for limits. Heraclitus, on the other hand, appreciates genuineness and depth of soul. Man is closest to himself when he reaches the seriousness of a child intent on play, he says, indicating that in sincere spontaneity and playful engagement lies a form of truth and completeness. He conceives of the soul as something dynamic. The soul has its own law which guides it up and down, suggesting that our spirit goes through high and low phases, inevitable ups and downs on the path of life. Even in the face of death, Heraclitus maintains his enigmatic tone. After death, things await men that they neither hope for nor even imagine, he writes, suggesting that existence holds mysteries and surprises beyond the confines of earthly life. Ultimately, all of Heraclitus's reflections converge on the idea of a universal order that unites all things. He invites us to listen not simply to himself, but to that logos, reason, that permeates all things. Only by listening to the profound voice of reason can we grasp the ultimate truth. By listening not to me but to reason, it is wise to admit that all is one. Thank you for exploring the wisdom of Heraclitus with me. If you enjoyed this journey through his aphorisms, remember to like and subscribe to the channel to discover more pearls of wisdom from great philosophers. Knowledge is a continuous journey, and I'm happy to have you with me on this adventure.